As global tensions escalate and the threat of a potential nuclear conflict looms, many Americans are questioning the safety of the current living situations. Countries like Russia and North Korea have repeatedly made headlines for their nuclear capabilities, prompting heightened concerns about where to reside in the event of a worst-case scenario. This growing anxiety has led real estate experts and survival analysts to develop maps indicating the safest places to live in the United States in the event of a nuclear war. These safety maps consider critical factors like population density, access to fresh water, arable land, and distance from likely nuclear targets. If you're considering a location with a greater chance of survival during a nuclear conflict, these insights provide a clear guide. What makes a place safe during a nuclear war? In the unfortunate event of a nuclear war, your choice of residence could significantly impact your survival. While proximity to amenities like schools, shopping centers, and public transportation typically influences home buying decisions, these factors are irrelevant when the primary concern shifts to survival. According to real estate expert Andrew Ragusa, crucial elements like access to fresh water, favorable farming conditions, and distance from densely populated areas become paramount. Ragusa points out that in such a scenario, survival depends on isolation from major population centers and maintaining the capacity to grow food and access essential resources. Regions in states like California, Florida, and Texas are gaining attention among experts for their remote areas far removed from major metropolitan centers like San Francisco, Miami, and Houston. These regions offer milder climates suitable for agriculture and have natural resources like fresh water, which is vital for long-term survival. However, experts caution against interpreting all of these states as safe havens. Instead, it's essential to identify specific rural areas within these regions that are far from potential nuclear targets. The value of rural areas and resources when it comes to nuclear war safety. One common theme among survival analysts is that rural areas offer the highest chances of survival. These regions are less likely to be primary targets due to their lower population density and distance from key military or governmental installations. Rural locales are also more likely to have the essential elements needed for self-sustenance, such as farmland, fresh water sources, and natural protection against radiation fallout. Yasen Edwards, another real estate expert, supports this view. Edwards emphasizes that access to farmland and fresh water are crucial for long-term survival in the wake of a nuclear event. He highlights that the Midwest and Southeast are particularly suitable due to their abundance of arable land and fresh water sources. These regions also benefit from their distance from major nuclear targets, making them safer bets for those seeking a strategic relocation. States and regions to consider when identifying the safest places in the U.S. Real estate and survival experts have singled out specific states and regions. Among the states with the most suitable locations are Idaho and Montana, with their low population density, abundance of natural resources, and vast rural areas. Idaho and Montana are repeatedly named as prime choices for those concerned about nuclear threats. These states also offer some of the most remote, mountainous regions in the country, which provide additional protection against potential radiation fallout. The Midwest, states like Iowa, Nebraska, and Kansas have long been known for their extensive farmlands and ample water supplies. These regions' agricultural advantages, combined with a low concentration of likely nuclear targets, make them strategic choices for those prioritizing long-term survival. The rural nature of these states also provides distance from major military bases and key cities that could be targeted. The Southeast, regions in the Southeast, including parts of Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi, provide an excellent climate for agriculture and access to fresh water sources like rivers and lakes. Their distance from critical urban and military targets adds another layer of security. Why these regions make sense? The focus on these areas makes sense when considering the factors that would come into play in a nuclear conflict. In contrast to cities that are heavily reliant on modern infrastructure and supply chains, rural regions often foster a self-reliant lifestyle with strong agricultural capabilities. In states like Idaho and Montana, residents are accustomed to long winters and growing their own food, while the Midwest's extensive farmland could support a larger population in times of crisis. The Southeast benefits from a climate that can sustain year-round farming, ensuring a steady food supply. While the prospect of relocating to prepare for a nuclear war may sound extreme to some, experts like Ragusa and Edwards argue that the stakes are too high to ignore. In a nuclear scenario, safety comes down to resources and isolation, Edwards warns. It's not just about finding the safest state. It's about finding the right area within that state. Related video: Nuclear Apocalypse Survival Guide. How to survive. As Americans become more conscious of the potential risks, many are turning to online resources and videos to educate themselves on nuclear preparedness. The rising popularity of survival guides like Nuclear Apocalypse Survival Guide, How to Survive, demonstrates a growing awareness of nuclear threats and the need to be proactive in choosing a safe place to live. These guides highlight critical preparation steps, like stocking up on non-perishable foods, creating a secure shelter, and having a reliable communication plan. Final thoughts: the idea of planning for a nuclear event may seem far-fetched, but given the rising global tensions and the increasing capabilities of nations like Russia and North Korea, experts are encouraging people to at least consider their options. If you're thinking about relocating, examining factors such as proximity to nuclear targets, access to fresh water, arable land, and population density can help ensure a better chance of survival. As unsettling as it may be, understanding the safest places to live in the US during a nuclear war could be crucial for some. The choices you make now could very well determine your ability to weather one of humanity's most catastrophic potential events. Thanks for watching this video. Let's hope World War III never happens. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to support the A Voice channel. We appreciate it.